Hello and welcome back to video classes by Konnur English Medium School. Today we will take up prose 3 before the match, which is actually a short story taken from a novel called Swami and Friends. R.K. Narayan is the author of this literary work, and he is indeed famous for the collection of stories called the Malgudi Days. So what happens in this story is that a group of school boys, they have a cricket match arranged against another club, a cricket club, and they are not getting time to practice for that match because they have school to attend. And after school, there is some other activity like a drill or scouting activity, because of which some players are not getting time to practice their bowling, their batting, fielding, other things. So this has created a problem for the team's captain, who is very nervous now because one of their important players is not coming for practice in the evening because of what is happening at school. So what happens in the story is very interesting. We will read the story and we will find out. The match was to be played on Sunday after 2 weeks. Rajam lost all peace of mind. He felt confident that his team could thrash the YMU. He himself could be depended upon to not let down the team. So Rajam is the captain of the team, and he is very confident about the abilities of his team members, his players. He himself was a good player too. But there is one player that is disturbing him. There is the one player for whom he is worried. Anxiety, he was anxious because of that one player. So who was that player and why was he worried about that player? We'll see that now. Mani was steady if unimpressive. He could be depended upon to stop with his head if necessary any ball. His batting was not bad. There was only one player who caused him the deepest anxiety day and night. Alright? So talking about Mani, another player in the team, he was not a great batsman, but he was very steady. Yes? He was very sound-minded, and he was very stable, and you could rely upon him as a team member. His batting was not bad, so everybody was okay in the team. But that one player was causing Rajam, the captain, some problem. Because of him, he was worried. Yes. Now this game is being played against another team called YMU. Yes. I think you noticed those three letters there, YMU. YMU stands for Young Men's Union. Young Men's Union, that's a cricket club. So they have a cricket match scheduled against that team. So now this player, let's talk about the player who is causing some kind of anxiety for Rajam, the captain of the team. There was one player who caused him the deepest anxiety day and night. On him rested a great task, a mighty responsibility. He was the taint of the team, and he looked uncertain. So that boy, that another player who caused him so much worry, who caused the captain Rajam so much worry, was an important bowler in the team. He was a reliable bowler, and he had a lot of responsibility on his shoulder because he was an important bowler in the team. And he was called the taint of the team. Taint refers to, in those days, there was a very famous English bowler from England, who played for England team, of course. His name was Maurice Tate. Maurice Tate. Now Maurice Tate played for England during the 1920s and 1930s, long before cricket became such a big game in the world. During those days, he was called Maurice Tate. So R.K. Narayan uses his name because this story was written around that time, so a long time back. So yes, so he was called the taint of the team. The player who is causing some sort of anxiety for Rajam. He was an important bowler of the team, but he was uncertain, and that player looked uncertain. What does that mean, that he looked uncertain? Even with the match only a fortnight off, he did not seem to care for practice. This was the problem. Now the match was only 2 weeks away, 2 weeks off. That is a fortnight. A fortnight refers to a period of 2 weeks approximately, or 14 days. So this player, this bowler, important bowler of the team, he was not appearing for practice. It looked like he didn't care about the practice at all, and the important match with YMU team was only 2 weeks away. So any captain in that situation would feel nervous. He would feel very worried because the important bowler of your team is not coming for practice. And his name was Swaminathan. The bowler's name was Swaminathan. So Rajam, the captain, talks to Swaminathan, the bowler. He talks to him and says, Swami, please do try to have at least an hour's practice in the evenings. You know, the match is very close now, just 2 weeks away, and you are not coming for practice. So please try to come and practice for at least an hour in the evening. He is requesting him. The captain is requesting Swami, the bowler. So, and Swami replies saying, certainly Rajam, if you can suggest a way. Well, he stops there. You know, he says, well, I will come for practice, but you let me know how should I. How should I come for practice? So you suggest me a way. Then Rajam stops him there and then says, why not tell your headmaster that? So that means the situation is familiar to Rajam. Rajam knows why Swami is not coming for practice. It's because Swami was not allowed by the teachers to go for practice because the school ran even after 4:30. There was some sort of activity in the ground. It could be some sort of drill or scout related activity. So boys were not let to go home after 4:30. They still had to stay back for those exercises and other things. So this is why Swami was not able to come for practice, and Rajam knew that too. So when Rajam says you need to have at least 1 hour's practice every day, Swami says, well, you let me know how I should come, what is the way, how should I, what kind of explanation should I give my teachers? So Rajam says, why don't you talk to your headmaster? And that idea is something that Swami doesn't like. He says, oh no. I am grateful to you for your suggestion, but let us not think about that, man. So he says, no way, I'm not going to talk to the headmaster. It's no use, he's not going to grant me permission to go for practice after 4:30. He will not do that. So they are in this situation where the most important bowler of the team, in Rajam's team, is not joining the rest of the team for practice in the evening, and the match is only 2 weeks away. Then, I don't care, says Rajam. What I want is that you should have good practice. If you keep any batsman standing for more than 5 minutes, I will never see your face again. So Rajam now talks like the captain, because see, the captain has a lot of responsibility. He has to make sure that his players perform. If the players don't perform, then the blame will go to the captain of the team. Yes, you have to see how cricket matches go, or how sports is played. The captain plays a very important role in coordinating the teamwork and bringing up the teamwork. Now, Rajam has to be strong here. He has to be very assertive, yes, and say what needs to be said. So he says to Swami, look, I don't care. Whatever problem you have, it's up to you. But I want you to get enough practice. If you don't come for practice, then there will be problem. I don't want any batsman to play for more than 5 minutes in the opponent's side. And your responsibility is to make sure that you get that wicket within 5 minutes. So if any batsman continues to play, continue to bat, even after 5 minutes, then Swami, I will never see your face again, says Rajam. Very clearly, straightforwardly. So it's a kind of warning, you do well in the game, whether you get practice or not, it's okay. But if any batsman bats for more than 5 minutes, then I will put the blame on you and I will not see your face again, says Rajam. And then days pass by, more days pass by, and it's only 7 days now before the match. And Swaminathan realized that his evenings were more precious than ever. He remembers what Rajam told him, that it's his responsibility to get the wicket of batsmen and not let them play more than 5 minutes. So, and now only 1 week is remaining. From 14 days, now they are just 7 days away from the match. And Swaminathan, the bowler, knows how important the evenings are for him now, because he has to do something and go for practice. As soon as the evening bell rang, he lined up with the rest in the drill ground. but contrary to the custom, he had not taken off his coat and cap. All the others were in their shirts with their dhotis tucked up. So that day in the evening, Swaminathan, he joined the rest of his friends in the ground, in the drill ground, because there is a drill session after 4:30. So all the boys have to go and then line themselves up there. So that's what he has done. And in those days, they didn't wear the kind of uniform that you guys wear these days. So they wore a dhoti, on top of that they wore a shirt, and on top of that they had a coat, and then they had a cap. So all the boys have lined themselves up there, and they have tucked their dhotis. That means they have pulled the edges of their dhotis up, folded them and tucked them in their waistline so that it stays there firmly, because they are now going to do some physical activity like drill. There is a drill happening. So all the boys have lined up and they have all prepared themselves. They have removed their cap, they have removed their coat, but Swaminathan has not done that, even though he is there among those boys. He has not done that because he doesn't want to do the drill that day, because he wants to go for practice. It's only 7 days left. So all the others were in their shirts with their dhotis tucked up. The drill master stopped before him, looked him up and down, and passed on muttering, "You won't get leave, coat and cap off." So the drill master, the teacher who was in charge of the drill, he came inspecting everyone. He knew that all the boys had removed their coats and caps, but this boy, Swami, he hadn't done that. And the drill master knew why he hadn't done that. He knew that Swami wanted to go for practice. He wanted to go somewhere. He knew that. That's for sure. So he says, "Well, I'm not going to give you permission to go now. So I want you to remove coat and cap and be ready for the drill," says the drill master. And then Swaminathan became desperate and pursued him. "Sir, I'm in a terrible state of health. I can't attend drill today. I shall die if I do." And kids come up with all funny kinds of explanations and excuses when they want to go home early. So Swaminathan pursues the drill master. He goes behind him while the drill master is taking a look at the other boys. He goes and then says, Sir, please, I can't do the drill today because my health is in a very bad condition. It's so bad that if I do the drill today, I will die," says Swaminathan. If somebody is in a situation like that, if somebody's health condition is so bad, they wouldn't be able to even stand there, right? But Swaminathan looks perfectly okay, and he says, "If I do the drill today, I will die, so please let me go." Well, the teachers understand these things, right? So we all have experienced it. Sometimes we have done things like this, and then teachers don't really take us seriously. But what does the drill master do? Does he take Swaminathan seriously? Does he believe that his health is not in a good shape that day? Will he let him go and play? Will he let him go early that day? We will see that in the next class.